What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I am your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a fantastic weekend. We're here Saturday night, a little bit before 8 o'clock here, and we're going to talk about day 3 of Eagles training camp practice. And holy hell, is it flying by? We've got 40 days until Eagles football. Oh my God, I cannot wait to see this team go back-to-back, build this dynasty. And we're going through step by step throughout this offseason and taking a gander at how the Eagles can do that. So I appreciate you taking the time. We are live here, so any questions, comments that you have, love to hear from you. If you're watching this later, I'd also love to hear from you. I'm always down to talk some birds. Appreciate you guys hitting that like button down below, sharing this stuff, subscribing to the channel. All of it really, really helps. So thank you for that. Had a great time last night. To all of you who tuned in to Fan Friday, thank you for that. Really had a good time talking with you guys, getting excited about this team and talking about some of the battles and some of the question marks that are still had on this team. So, look, we've got ourselves 40 days until, we got to figure it all out. But I'm ready to rock and roll. My man, just tuned in last night for the first time, subscribed, new to the family. My man, Philly Flyover Network. Appreciate you tuning in, dude, and hope you're doing well. I today was way more intense than I thought it was going to be. I thought I was going to be able to make an earlier show, talk about this stuff, and boy, did that not happen. And it was like really humid and weird, and it was pouring, and today just sucked. I'll be real, but it was great in the sense that I did get to spend some time with Chelsea for a little bit, so that was nice. But I tried to keep up this morning with what was going on, and heard from Kevin Patullo before the practice began, and I'm really excited about him. We've talked about it. He's been with Sirianni in this system for years, and he's going to step in, and he knows what Hurts can do in this offense, and I think we're going to be just fine there. And yeah, I just really felt good about the interview earlier, and then practice got started, and I'm going to share some of these notes from Andrew DeCecco from Inside the Birds. Always enjoy his work and trust in what he's putting out there. Somebody who actually, sticks to the football side of things. And there's, a few of them out there, but he's one I usually try to rely on in these times, and haven't been able to go the last couple of years myself, unfortunately. But you know how it goes with me and work. So maybe one of these weekends I can make it up. But Tiffany tuning in. Let's effing go Birds. Appreciate you, you sicko. Hope you are doing well. And dude, it was a long one, but finally gonna get some time to spend with Chelsea, and now Dominic's home as well. So we're gonna have a little family time. I'm excited about that. But here to talk about a little bit of birds first. And any sources heard anything good or bad? Well, he's again, like we talked about last night, someone that is going to be part of this rotation. And I think a great draft pick, one of the steals of our draft. I think probably the best steal. We talked about that last night. He's going to do, his part. But remember, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Moro Ajomo are here. And as I said last night, I think those are the top 3. And then, your fourth guy being Ty Robinson. And then is there going to be a fifth? Do you keep Booker? Do you keep Byron Young, Gabe Hall? Just signed Sykes and the other guy, Joe Evans, I believe his name was. So, yeah, you've got competition there. But I think Ty Robinson, nothing really coming out, to your question that, anything crazy yet. But I have seen a couple good things, and that's all you're looking for in these times. And, it's training camp, right? And we'll get a chance to see them coming up in the preseason here pretty directly. And I can't wait for that. We'll get our first padded practice, the next practice, which is on Tuesday. So we'll meet again and talk about that. But tomorrow I'm going to try to put out a video on Joe Evans because, everybody gets a video that we sign. I got to break it all down because I want to know him. I want you to know him. But we're going to talk about everything there. But got off practice for a couple of days, and then they'll be in pads when they get back. So we'll talk about that. But I think Ty Robinson, a bright future for the Vanilla Gorilla. And, that's what we do here. And, these guys are all going to get a chance, an opportunity to go out there and whoop some ass. And, Carter's missed the first few practices here. Going to be, smart with his injury, and, other guys, things happen. So you always got to have depth. And I think that we have, a good amount of depth. And I'm excited about him. But I want to look at these notes, and maybe there's some things in there for some of the questions you guys might have. But it seems like Jalen feels very excited about Kevin compared to. Well, I mean, I think everybody knows, for all those naysayers to Kevin Patullo, that was the guy I wanted. We talked about this would be the guy Jalen would want because he knows that was the quarterback guy that, is helping him succeed here. So, yeah, no brainer that's the guy you want to have in there. So I'm excited about it. And I think, again, as I said last night and throughout this offseason, and as I told you before last offseason, I think this team is building a dynasty. And, they got one. Now let's go get another one. And, that starts with this kind of stuff right here. Begins in the trenches. You got to do the little things. And people get upset. We talk about it. Oh, I don't want to hear about the cap or practice. I'm angry. And it's like, okay, dude, that's fine. Not everybody's a sicko. Not everybody's a diehard. We bleed green in these parts, and we want to know everything about the Eagles. And to me, that's what I'm all about. And I know that's what you guys are about. Bug, but he's my favorite draft pick. Yeah, man, we talked about him last night, and it's all good, man. You guys have any questions? I tell you, feel free to ask. I'm here to try to relay anything. If I'm not there or don't hear anything, I can only give you what I've seen. So and that's what this is all about, these live shows. We're just discussing it. If you guys have seen stuff or want to talk about whatever, floor is always open, my friend. And I'm excited. I'm excited as shit. That's why yeah. That's what this show is all about, my friend. I want to talk about these players too. I sit here and I harass, everybody in my family, people at the grocery store, at the bank. Doesn't matter where I'm at work. These people don't care. They don't want to hear the shit I have to say. They don't even like the Eagles. They don't even probably like me. But but I just keep going anyway because people need to know that the Birds are the best team in the NFL. And I talk so much shit. You guys remember that have tuned into this show. How much last year I told you. I talk shit every week at work, everywhere I went. I just couldn't stop. And everybody, they thought, right? And now these people have to deal with me. And, we clearly won the Super Bowl. So, it's been brutal for them. But I stick to my guns, baby. And I'm telling you, this team right here, I feel very confident they're going to go back to back. Now, clearly, it depends on injuries and anything can happen, man. It's the NFL. So we like to laugh. I know you guys call me Mr. Cleo and, the magic ball. That's great. I don't truly, have the ability to see it in the future. It'd be cool, but I don't. I do like to try to predict and watch these things happen. So let's just hope that one more prediction comes true. Love to see that dynasty being built. So let's go. And exactly, that's what we're here for. All about it. Oh yeah. You're saying this about the Eagles? Yeah, dude. And look, now I come from a family of diehards. Don't get me wrong there. I just mean the fact that I never shut up. If my brother lived closer or we talked like a lot more, it would be the same thing. Just like when it was with my dad, like we were talking about on the show last night. I just think there's always time to talk Birds. I'm always going to be like that. So that's what it's all about, man. That's why you guys tell you have a place to come. If you're a sicko, I'm always down to talk some Birds. So let's effing go. Mark, my man, hope you're doing well, my friend. Appreciate you tuning in on this fine evening. Sicko linebacker, sit down, chip on the shoulder. Should be good. He's proved himself. Special teams. Well, he wasn't really limited. He just was injured. So unfortunate. But, I think that this dude, you guys know how I feel. Backup safety. I know what you're saying there, my friend. But John Campbell, you guys know how I feel about that. Him and Bond together for the future. Holy shit. And Vic Fangio's defense. Oh, boy. We talked about the importance of the linebackers. And obviously, every other damn spot. Yes, you want to get pressure in the middle. You want to get it on the edge. You want to, have your corners, the nickel corner. You want to have your safeties. We've talked about the importance of everyone, but the linebackers, obviously, you got to be a certain blend of player there. And we talked about John Campbell. Kind of perfect to go with Zach Bond there. It's kind of scary. I hope they stay healthy, and that's a wrecking crew. So very excited there. And you guys know how I feel about Sidney Brown. I was ecstatic to get him in the draft. We talked about him a lot before that draft. The injury bug, unfortunately, has gotten him. And we got C.J. Gardner-Johnson back last year where, he didn't need him. He had Reed Blankenship and him. And it's unfortunate that he got banged up because I think he could have had an opportunity to shine, and that sucks. But look, I think, Mark, to your point that he's got a chip on his shoulder. He definitely, he wants to come out firing. I love it, and I'm all about it. And I think that he's somebody that has the ability, if he can just be coached up, and we talked about it, just the right coaching. And I think he's got that with the defensive backs coach. When you look at Parker back there and you talk about, obviously, Vic Fangio's defense as a whole, I just think, they're in good hands. And Sidney Brown, definitely some improvement to be had, but I think people sleep on him. And if he and Makuba, when we talk about them being on the field at the same time, Makuba is one of those versatile defensive backs, just like Cooper DeJean, who can play safety, can play nickel corner. This is what we want, guys that can cover, but can also, playmakers and can tackle and do these things that, we're asking. And I think that, you've got a good young core here in that secondary. So I'm all about it, man. I agree with you, Mark, 100%. Yeah, exactly. I always think that in my head, like, I'm not sure anyone's as insane, but you guys are definitely some sickos. Vanilla Gorilla, Baby Rhino. Yeah, Hunt's future nickname, gonna be the best. D-line question is, where you take your gold? What do you think? Well, don't forget Nolan Smith. Because, you look at this defensive line, and, obviously you guys know how I feel. I think most people know what Jalen Carter is, and Jordan Davis. You guys know how I feel about Ajomo and Ty Robinson there. I think it's going to be the best interior D line right there, and then the edge. Smith and Hunt, clearly Hunt, my guy there. I just can't wait to see his year too. But you got Uche and Ojulari added into the mix too. I think this rotation is going to be nasty, dude. So looking at the rotation of the inside and outside. And, you've got multiple schemes here in this defense. And, again, I'll make a show where we can all get excited about these guys. But, dude, I can't wait. I think they're going to feast. I really, really cannot wait. And, yeah, there's some good nicknames, and I think on draft night when we heard about the Vanilla Gorilla and what was it? He has like a pet. What is it, a giraffe or something? Like something crazy. But, yeah, loved the nickname and clearly loved Jalen Carter's Baby Rhino. I still remember, I wish I could find that meme. I wish those dick beards never got rid of my old Twitter, because there were some awesome ass graphics I made and I wish I could get back, but they're lost in the Netherlands, or maybe they're in my picture somewhere and I have no idea, but I have no clue. And I'm not going to search 10,000 effing photos that I put together. But yeah, man, I'm excited about this team. Let's take a gander though real quick at these notes, and I think they'll be just fine by week one, man, just like they were all last year when people were losing their minds. I try to bring them down to reality. And, hey, man, a lot of people got really offended and worked up last year over me liking this team. And, well, I think they see it now. So those people that doubted this edge, doubted the interior, need this, need that, I don't believe in those people. I just don't. So let me try to figure out what I'm doing for the millionth time in my life. But yeah, we're going to look at this, scroll through this real fast. Big shout out to Andrew DeCheco there at Inside the Birds. But we're going to pop this little bip up here. We're going to bop around here. Sorry, bipping and bopping over here. This thing always freaks out when I try to do this. See, I knew better this time. I didn't even get myself, I just waited for a second, let it freak out. Go ahead, freak out. Freaking out, man. All right, so. Holy. All right. So let's take a gander at what Ander, who has to say here. You guys can let me know how you feel about it. I'll be back in a second here. But Campbell getting some work. We talked about that. It was coming. We see it. Let's go. Military Appreciation Day. Let's go, Birds. Classified as green. It was an hour and 40-minute practice. Yes, we talked about Patulo there. Carter, again, did not practice. Kenyon Green was limited, along with Campbell and Juergens. Taking her easy with those guys. It's training camp. Let's have them for the whole year. Let's go Birds. Now, Kobe Dean on the pup list, but he was spotted watching the practice. Fletch was there, hell yeah. And then NFL Network had Gerald McCoy there. Get to see what a real team is. And I heard he got to put on our Super Bowl ring. I'm sure he probably got one with Tom Brady. Was he with the Bucs? I don't know, whatever. But get the practice observations Thursday. Talk about Campbell. Yeah, man. We've all been waiting for it. And, obviously Trot still getting his, so that's cool. I'm all about it. Hurts missed a couple throws. That's fine. They probably put him in weird situations. That's what practice is for. So I'm really not worried. I don't watch training camp stats. Anyways, one instance, short pass to Dotson, rejected at rabbit ears, impeding his vision. There's another play during red zone period. Pass high, end zone for Goddard. Step on read, and then fingertips. Okay, notable showcase. So we're not going to worry too much about that. Hurts delivered a perfect pass to AJ, covered by Ringo. Ringo failed to locate the ball. Coverage was there. The byproduct of innate rapport between Hurts and Brown. Love it. Hurts during red zone period, also connected. Okay, Devontae. So we've got a dart to Smith. Had position on Coop. Fucking play Smith crossed. Smile Munden. Can't wait to see Munden. He will be on this team. Subject to Munden, rookie linebacker. Come yeah, and we talked about him, what he's going to do on special teams, providing depth there. I'm excited about him. Thought it was a good pick. Kick return, you see Williams, Shipley, Smith, Gray, A.J. Dillon getting some work back there, and also Montrell Johnson, who we talked about possibly. Well, he is back there. Then you see Adoree Jackson getting some first-team reps. He was out there to start the day. Ringo did get his, but it is a competition there. not sure how great I feel, again, about that cornerback spot if Ringo can't beat out Adoree Jackson. But, hey, man, we talked about Stephon Gilmore's out there. Maybe you want to trade for somebody, one of those Cleveland corners. I don't know, man. Figure it out. But do it all. DB Cooper DeJean. I just hope that Kelee Ringo figures it out. That's what I really hope. Cooper DeJean, again, a line at safety. The Eagles are in base when shifting to nickel. However, it's third year. So what we got here is Sidney Brown starting at safety with Reed Blankenship. And then you've got Drew Makuba was also getting reps with Reed Blankenship. Now, Cooper DeJean was in the nickel spot when that happened. When they were in base, Coop was playing safety. So we know his versatility. And I did see something, I'm not sure if he mentions it here, but I read somewhere that Makuba was getting that dime, so it's like the same thing as the nickel, but it just means they're the fourth corner. Instead of three corners, you've got a fourth one, and he's the dime on the other side playing inside. So Coop would be inside on one side and Makuba on the other. So that's what I just talked about, guys. I was just telling you guys last night, and we talked about it in the offseason when we drafted him, because, that's the whole purpose of having these versatile DBs. So pumped up. Getting healthy, Brown, his knees, getting my knee right. As much as I wanted to be 100%, I wasn't fully 100% yet. Now my knee is feeling perfect. I put a lot of work in this offseason. I feel I'm right where I need to be. Let's go Birds. Let's go Sid. I'm pumped up for it. He's got Makuba standing out here. Love that. Decent position on Goddard. And, that's obviously a hard coverage, but we talked about Makuba. He is the best coverage safety in this draft, and that's why it was exciting to get him. Quinion still doing his damn thing, only going to get better. Love it. Step for step with Devontae Smith. That's insane. Ojomo doing his thing. Look, man, I told you, when we got rid of Milton Williams, don't sleep on Ojomo. It's the guy of the same mold, man. He plays the same damn position, not just because of what it's called, because he's literally a pass rushing DT, but he can do more. He's just been waiting in the wings, just like Milton Williams was. So, it is what it is. Notch sack Hurts. And look, man, I'm telling you, I'm excited about him as well. Pertains to the bunch, competing depth roles, a receiver. So, Terrace Marshall, I read somewhere that he was getting first-team reps today. So, look, they're giving him opportunity. And we talked about in the right system. Could he do something? But you've got someone like Danny Gray with that 4.33 speed. So there are back-end receivers pushing Anais Smith and Johnny Wilson. So we'll see who wants to step it up during this offseason here and make this squad. Tanner McKee's going to be QB2. I think McCord will be 3. We'll find out if DTR, I heard he had a good day. I'm not sure if it's mentioned here, but we'll see. But you see, he does talk about the 4.33 speed and potential as a kick returner. They've been using him back there. So always good to bring versatility to the table. Then you talk about Anais Smith. Made the notebook for a second consecutive practice. Quick and shifty, clearly playing with more confidence. Special teams show. Okay, so Anais Smith, man, we talk about it. I don't want Avery Williams. I want Anais Smith, dude. That's who we drafted. I think the kid's got the talent. We talked about him before the draft last year. I really like him as a gadget type player where, adding him to this offense that already has so many weapons would be killer. But as a return man, just having someone that can kick and punt return would be fantastic. And I think that could be him. So we'll find out. But he talks about a drill here, where they're returners with the lead blockers, all that. If you guys want to check this article out, you can. But it's just special teams drill that he's mentioning there. And look, I think, we talk about top to bottom there. Everything is important. So love to see that they're working on all of these type of things. But you got to take this stuff with a grain of salt, when you're seeing like people winning or losing or whatever they're saying out there. Again, take it all with a grain of salt. But that's what went down for day 3 there. And, we'll continue to try to figure out, these couple of positions that I think there's question marks. But overall, I'm very confident in this team. Just have a few things that I want to, have answered here, and we'll see. But let me jump over here. Looks like we got a bunch of comments. Hold on 1 second. Trying to catch up here. Slim Reaper, Swollen Battery. Yeah, we got all kinds of crazy, awesome nicknames. And, of course, my nickname for Hertz, the Terminator. AJ Sweeney and Dotson. Terrace Marshall. Well, I was just mentioning it there, Sean. If you caught that, sorry. I wasn't looking at the comments. I was trying to read that article. But, Marshall was getting first-team reps. Danny Gray, doing his thing out there. It's definitely a good competition to keep our eye on here. So, pumped up. And you got, a few other guys in there. Elijah Cooks, I did read at one point. He's like 6'2". Wait, he might be like 6'4", actually. But somebody that went up and caught like a one-handed catch. And look, it's, again, practice. But, you've got guys in the back end here trying to show out. You never know, who wants to be that guy this offseason. We've got opportunity there. But you would think, past the top 3, it's really, Johnny Wilson, Anais Smith, Terrace Marshall, Danny Gray. But those back-end guys could definitely make a name for themselves. Anything can happen in the offseason. So we'll find out, Sean. Very excited to see here. Targeting Goddard a lot so far. This is all situational football. Like, whatever you see them targeting, like, that's like what they're telling him to do. So wouldn't put any stock into anything like that. That's just reporters. I was listening to that session earlier today, and I really don't know how these people are employed that ask the questions, man. These reporters are something else, man. I wish we could really get some questions answered by some of these coaches, but it's nuts, man. Their will to push terrible narratives to be negative. It's weird, man. Going to be a lot of passing. There's going to be a lot of running and passing. It's the NFL, but we'll be, again, one of the top running teams in the league. That's what we're good at, so that's what we'll do. But we will throw the ball when we need to, just like we talked about last year. I love these narratives. Oh, you can't do that. Like, holy fuck, dude. Like, every game is different. Like, if you need to pass, you'll pass. If you and we can do anything because we have Jalen Hurts, a quarterback. Saquon Barkley's a running back. So just don't even listen to the media or any people trying to be negative because they honestly have no idea what they're talking about. It's just that simple. And I appreciate those kind words, Eric. Kelee Ringo, I hope he starts to do something. The first few practices, he's had his struggles, but it's okay. It's training camp. That's the time you want to have your struggles. You want to take that time. And you're going against some really good wide receivers. So give him the benefit of the doubt that he's going to learn from these things and continue to grow. And again, that's why I've said I'm not freaking out. I think if you had any questions, that's the one spot. I think you could definitely ask. But I'm hopeful that Kelee really turns it around here, man. That'd be awesome. I really think that'd be great. Be real great. I'm trying to click on this. I'm not. Okay. All the reporters saying this is the most comfortable he's looked when he can. Oh, man. I think Jalen Hurts is a laid-back, comfortable person. They just need to chill out, right? I think he's been comfortable This is training camp, man. These guys are, you can hear they're annoyed by the reporters. They're ready to rock, bro. Just like I said last year, we're going to build a dynasty here. You have no idea. When everyone is telling me how much Jalen Hurts sucked and why we should trade him, I literally laughed every night. And people were like, how are you still defending this dude? And it was like, well, because I just don't care what anybody else says, dude. And you can see how good he is. And it's like, that's what I was trying to show people. Like his attitude, his drive. I told you, he reminded me of Michael Jordan. Weird. He's now on the Jordan brand. Like, you saw his mom commenting on my videos. We know how that story went, man. The dude's the truth, and they better figure him out real quick. They can make their dumbass list. They can talk about Cam Newton's dumb shit, whatever, dude. Sorry you're not as good as Jalen Hurts. Is what it is. But best of luck to Ringo. Hoping, things work out for him. We'll find out here. Hopefully, he strings together some good practices, good off-season, preseason. We'll see. So, in another year throwing it all over, but most likely pounding that rock, which is beautiful to be able to do that to people. So just like we talked about last night there. So sorry. Hey, look, like I just said, it's practice, man. We'll be just fine. My man, yo, time for that reality check. Yo, dude, haven't seen you for a minute. I've been banged up and the ear infection been brutal. I hope you're doing well. Here to just go over day 3, about to roll out here, but I appreciate you tuning in, man. And you guys have anything you want to add before I do get going? You have any more questions on anyone? Look, Dylan is definitely going to be in the competition. You guys know how I feel very firmly that, Will Shipley is that running back too. But A.J. Dillon, we talk about being that RB3. God forbid anything happen. You've got good backs back there, and you can use guys like, that. Using Saquon Barkley, I don't want to say sparingly, but not as much in the beginning of the season, kind of keep them fresh. Having guys like Will Shipley and A.J. Dillon is great, but all 3 of them can do the same thing. They can run the ball, they can catch the ball. It's just who is going to really prove that they're the best blocker out of Shipley and Dillon. And they both can block, and they both can catch, and they both have return ability. Apparently Dillon's getting some returns. Shipley, we know he did last year for us. Both versatile. They're both gonna, I think, really have a fun competition here, but we talked about it. Could one of these other young guys push out someone like A.J. Dillon? I'm not 100% sure that happens. Keelan Robinson, Montrell Johnson, Shunderick Powell, but maybe if they see one of these younger guys and think, oh, they got a bright future, I'm going to take that over, A.J. Dillon, who was just banged up. I'm not going to be mad about it. I understand he's a name, and I understand I think he still has some left in the tank, and I love the fact that he can catch the ball as well, a big bruising body like him. But, we love our push. So I don't know how much we really necessarily need him unless he wins that job. So it's going to be fun to watch that competition. He's really got to prove himself that, we need to keep him. So I'd love to see that. I'd love to see him come back and show he's healthy. That'd be great. And he is a big ass dude, but you draft Ship for a reason. And I talked about it last year. Kenny Gainwell is going to be gone. That's going to be Will Shipley's role. He's going to get those, pass catching downs and all that stuff. And I think that he's perfect for the role. So excited about both of them. Hope that they both ball out here. And yeah, man, competition, it's going to breed greatness from this team. And I really cannot stress enough how much I think we're building a dynasty here. So let's go. I tried to hit you up on X. I figured you're not there anymore. Yeah, I rarely use any of them anymore. You guys know I got pissed off after they got rid of my Twitter. I just really stopped using any of the social media. But yeah, man, as I always tell you guys, reach out. So I'll check my Twitter once I'm done here. You always got to let me know if you leave anything and I miss it. Because I do try every once in a while, but there's always 600, whether it's spam or people. I try to keep up. I do. But I always miss shit. Worst case scenario, how is the king? Yeah, man. And look, this team, they keep doing what they need at each level. Talk about, having the great ownership. And then, the GM and the coaching. And I feel confident that this team is building that dynasty I've talked about. So let's go, baby. Let's go. And exactly. I love when people, they run the ball. That's good. It's good when you can still, in today's NFL, and successfully, throw the ball too. And obviously we have A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, Dallas Goedert, you have Jahan Dotson here. So, I mean, got a lot of players that you can throw the ball to. And they just don't know what they're talking about. Having a good running back crew like this would be awesome. I can't wait. The pro set formation with A.J. Dillon and Barkley. Well, yeah, man, you get, I think you get your two sets, and you'll see your fullback there. Maybe we talked about last night, maybe Ben Van Sumeren get some of those carries. So I think you'll see some creativity, as always here. But that would definitely be exciting here. But yeah, man, I'll definitely check that out. But look, you guys, the half hour is up. I got to get rolling here. I'm going to spend some time with the family, but I appreciate you guys all taking the time here. And if you're watching this later, you can always leave something down below. And even if you're watching now, you got more you want to ask about, talk about, leave it down below. And if you reach out in these platforms and you feel like I'm ignoring you, always tell me on these videos so I can make sure I don't miss you. So you need anything, reach out. Always here for you guys. Love each and every one of you. Hope you're having yourselves a great weekend. Tomorrow I'm going to try to put out that Joe Evans video, and then we'll go from there. Training camp, padded practice. We'll be back on Tuesday, remember? So we'll go over that. But that's all I got here tonight. If you enjoyed this video, do me a favor, hit that like button down below. Maybe share this bad boy out there into the universe. A little subscribe if you haven't already. Really can't thank you enough for the support. But again, have yourselves a great rest of your Saturday. Let me see over here real quick before I roll out. And again, thank you for all taking the time on this Saturday. And we'll keep breaking this roster down. I want to do this video talking about the top additions who I think is going to have the biggest impact. So I'll do that. Put that out next week. And yeah, man, I think it'd be great to keep him fresh. I don't need stats. Remember, everyone was mad that we didn't go for him breaking the rushing record. We wanted the Super Bowl instead, and they wanted the stat record. I don't want stat records. I want Super Bowls. So, yeah, man. So, love you guys. Hope you had a great weekend so far. If not, make it one. If I can help, please feel free to reach out. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there, and as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!